Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the December meeting of the Steering Legislative and Governmental Committee. First item of business is to approve the minutes from our last meeting. I'd like to call on Vice Chairman Commissioner Gooch.
Thank you. I move for approval, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, we need to fill 2 vacancies on the Correctional Work Center Board. And Commissioners, we have actually received 4 applications. We have received applications from Thomas Hartley, Grant Kelly, Virgil Gammon, and Robert Arnold. And we need to fill 2 vacancies on this board. And as we always do, we'd like to ask all the applicants, if they want to address the committee, share any thoughts with us. Call on Mr. Hartley first.
My name is Tom Hartley, and I've been on this board for a number of years, and I'm pleased with the progress that's been made out there. During my time out there, I have volunteered or sometimes been volunteered to serve in other capacities on that board. I chaired an education committee several years ago, and I chaired their disciplinary hearing committee 2 or 3 times. I was on the planning committee for the new facility, and I'm currently on the interviewing committee for the work release program. And I tell you all that in that I've always taken this appointment seriously, and I have the time to give. I'm retired, and I enjoy the public service. I'm certainly willing to continue serving on this board if I have your support. I appreciate your consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hartley. Any questions for Mr. Hartley at this time? Seeing none. Mr. Kelly.
My name is Grant Kelly. I've been on the board for over 10 years. I was on this distinguished group for about 20 years. But the workhouse has flourished. We've gotten our accreditation, and we're only one of 3 in the state that has that. And the other one's Memphis and Nashville. And we worked hard for this, and we cooperated with all of the entities to make it an end product, including the county commission. And I would like to serve another term if you would certainly honor me with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Any questions for Mr. Kelly at this time? All right. Mr. Gammon?
Yes, sir. Virgil Gammon. Of course, y'all know I've worked in the sheriff's office. Been there for 37 years. Basically, Tom and Grant are very honorable men. They have served well, I know. It just comes a time sometimes that you want an opportunity to offer services also. And with my experience and background in corrections and the service I have given, I just feel like that would be a good fit in that case. So I would appreciate your consideration.
Any questions for Mr. Gammon at this time? All right. Mr. Arnold?
I think with my experience as a detention officer over the years and in the different positions that I've held and the schools that I've held and gone to, that I'd make a good position on this board, bringing a lot of knowledge to this board that I've learned over the years. And that's the reason why I've applied.
Any questions for Mr. Arnold at this time? Any questions for any of our applicants? Commissioner, I'm sure that you all have received letters and phone calls from several of these applicants. We also have a letter addressed to the steering committee that was in, I assume was in your boxes from Francis Moses and Bob Asbury's regarding these vacancies and their consideration of their recommendations for Mr. Kelly and Mr. Hartley. And does everybody have this, or would you like me to pass it around? Yes. All right, Commissioner, we have 4 applicants and we have 2 vacancies. What's the wishes of the committee?
Make a motion, we nominate all 4 and vote for 2.
A motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? All right, Ms. Becky, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Black,
Mr. Arnold, Mr. Gamble,
Commissioner Farley,
Mr. Hartley, Mr. Arnold,
Commissioner Gooch,
Mr. Hartley and Sheriff Arnold.
Commissioner Jordan,
Mr. Gammon, Mr. Hartley,
Commissioner McAdoo,
Sheriff Arnold, and Bergerman.
Commissioner Coggan.
Arnold and Gammon.
Mr. Hartley has 3, Mr. Arnold has 5, and Mr. Gammon has 4 votes.
All right, gentlemen, Mr. Arnold and Mr. Gammon will be recommended to the full commission on December 13th, around 6 o'clock is when our meeting starts. So you'll be voted on by the full commission at that night. Thank all 4 of you gentlemen for your application and your service. Next, we need to fill 3 vacancies on the Agricultural Advisory Board. These vacancies are going to be filled by 1 farmer, 1 farm woman, and 1 commissioner. We have received 2 applications, one for farmer, Anthony David Scales, and one, oh, I'm sorry, I take that back, and then, did we get this application?
Jake
Okay,
Bachman.
yeah. And then, actually 2 applications, I'm sorry, for the farmer. Again, Anthony Scales and Jake Bachman. And then we have 1 application right now for the farm woman, Kay Jernigan. No, I'm sorry, guys.
Delia Goodman.
That's what I get for getting organized. Delia Goodman.
Could you repeat all those again?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize. I was trying to get organized and that just didn't work for me.
so on the farmer.
On the farmer, we have 2 applicants, Anthony David Scales and Jake Bachman. And for the farm woman, we have Delia Goodman. And for the commissioner, yes,
Now, is one of these farmers, are they reapplying back for the,
yes, Mr. Scales is a reappointment.
and then Ms. Goodman is the only one farm lady?
Woman. Did you say you didn't have anything for a commissioner?
We do not have a commissioner application at this time.
I'd like to nominate Commissioner Sandlin.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to nominate Commissioner Sandlin for the commissioner appointment to the Ag Board. Guess we need to, any other nominations? No. We have that motion. All's in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We'll recognize Commissioner Sandlin as an applicant for the commission. There he is. Right on time.
Sorry about that. Just can't get across town like you used to.
Commissioners, we could, if you want to, take these, since we have one applicant for 2 of the positions, the farm woman and the commissioner, we could take those in one motion and then vote on the other, if that's, you vote on the farmer, if that's,
I'll make a motion that on the farmer that we nominate both applicants and vote for one.
okay. We have Jake Bachman and Anthony Scales. And again, we'll allow them to address the committee. Mr. Scales.
I need a second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All's in favor of that motion? Any opposed? All right. Mr. Scales. Let's see. All right, is Jake Bachman here? Yeah, Jake.
Hi, my name is Jake Bachman. I'm a fertilizer sales rep here in Murfreesboro. I work for Agrium. You guys may have met or know our retail side of the company, Crop Production Service. It's the biggest ag company and biggest ag retail company in the U.S. I'm coming here today to ask for your guys' appointment to the Ag Advisory Board. I've been deeply entrenched into youth 4-H programs ever since I was able to participate. Spent 10 years in the 4-H program, spending many times as a officer, either as a president or reporter. I was active in cattle, sheep, hogs, as well as livestock judging. Since I've graduated from there, I spent a lot of time afterwards. I spent several years as a sheep superintendent at one of the counties that I grew up in, where I got to put on the entire show from scratch, from evaluating the judges to evaluating rules on health and wellness, as well as looking at different educational opportunities for the children. I've also spent time as a 4-H leader, as well as a livestock judging coach. Here recently in Tennessee, I spent a lot of time with UT and UT Martin on a lot of the youth activities. I helped them sponsor the Agribition, where we help the kids and mentor them. I've also spent a lot of time as an official at a lot of the state and local livestock judging competitions. I came here today to, I know that I think I'm supposed to be a production ag farmer, and I didn't know if that would necessarily be an issue because I am fertilizer sales rep, but I want you guys to consider me today because it's getting harder and harder for my generation to go back into production ag. When you're graduating from college and you see a lot of good jobs in the ag field, and then you look at the debt, or in my case, my family, I have a lot of cousins and a lot of uncles, and so there's only so much land to go around. So you get into agriculture and you be as active as possible, even if it's not necessarily production agriculture. But I'm deeply invested into the youth program. I know what it did for me, brought me up right, gave me all the skills and abilities I needed for college, for life. And I know what the youth program does for so many children. I'd like to continue to give back to those programs and to build those into the strongest programs I know they could be.
Any questions for Mr. Bachman? All right. Seeing none, I apologize for doing that a little bit out of order, but now we do have a motion and a second. Any other discussion for the committee? If not, we're voting on Jake Bachman and Anthony Scales for the farmer representative for the Ag Board. Please call the roll, please.
Commissioner Black,
Mr. Scales.
Commissioner Farley,
Mr. Bachman?
Commissioner Gooch,
Mr. Bachman.
Commissioner Jordan,
Mr. Bachman.
Commissioner McAdoo,
Scales.
Commissioner Sandlin,
Mr. Scales.
Commissioner Coggin.
Mr. Scales.
4 for Mr. Scales, 3 for Bachman.
Mr. Scales will be recommended to the full commission on December 13th. Mr. Bachman, appreciate your application.
I'll be back next year.
All right. Thank you. All right. Now we need to recommend a farm woman.
I'll make a motion that we recommend Ms. Goodman.
Second.
Ms. Goodman, would you care to address the committee?
Well, it's nice to see you all again. It's very rewarding committee to work with, and I appreciate the opportunity to serve my community by getting going with this committee. So, thank you.
Thank you. All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. And now we need to recommend a commissioner. We have one nomination.
We already voted on
We voted on
that. We
the commissioner?
nominated
We
Sandlin for
nominated-
the commissioner appointment.
There you go.
It was 3
All
to
right.
2 with the one abstention, I think, but we got him in there.
I didn't know if he wanted to be on the record of voting for himself or not. All right. All right, next we need to fill a vacancy on the Community Care Board. We have one application, and that would be from Ms. Kay Jernigan. Ms. Jernigan? All right, and do we have a motion?
Motion to approve, Ms. Jernigan.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, we need to fill a coroner vacancy. We have one application, Mr. Nunley. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, we have item 5 on the agenda. We need to discuss documents, publications, etc., posted on bulletin boards on county property. This was came up at the end of our meeting last month by Commissioner Jordan, and asked for us to think about that, and we would discuss it tonight. Commissioner Jordan.
Well, we can discuss it whatever length the committee would like to. I have kind of decided to withdraw that request, at least at this time, and I had publication and some research myself, and our excellent county attorney, and we have since talked again on the subject. We have a number of business cards, publications of every type, apartment rental things, babysitting, landscape services posted evidently a lot of different places in the county. On the other hand, we also have some other problems that the county attorney and I discussed, among them free publications that go to the jail, which is very helpful, I think, and newspaper in the classroom, which go to a number of different schools, and things of this nature. And although there may be some issues here that may need to be addressed, this may be a place we just don't need to go. That's kind of what I decided. And also, Commissioner Farley mentioned last time, and I think he was, and Gary, comment if you want to, but you were kind of entertaining the thought of all or nothing kind of thing. And I think that's probably right. And we're also providing an area where ideas can be expressed, maybe Chamber of Commerce, etc., some varied charities, whatever. And I just kind of decided to withdraw that, and and that's kind of where I stand today. Now, if y'all want to discuss it, we can, or whatever you'd like to do. I think they're okay with that.
Seeing no discussion or hearing any either. All right, I don't think there's any action that needs to be taken. It wasn't really a motion on the floor to table or withdraw, so we put it on the agenda and we'll move on. Next, we have a request from Records Commission. Mayor, are you?
I'm going to let Mr. Lodell speak to it, since the Records Commission has met since we've had the last discussion here at the steering committee. I think he can summarize for you exactly the discussion they had. It will maybe give us a more clear direction.
Thanks. Yes, please come up.
So, John. As y'all will know, there's a lot of movement in terms of records management initiatives in the county, especially through Heather Dahlborn in the Deeds Office, to try to move this county into an area of electronic records management that we've never been before. And in doing that, we're into some uncharted waters, not without guidance, but it's kind of new for everybody getting into electronic records management and access, public access to records. So we initially came to the steering committee, you all, a couple months ago, with the thought that maybe we need to apply a little more policy to our departments in terms of records management, dispositions or destroying records in a timely fashion, the ones that we don't need to keep. But upon further review of the Records Commission, we decided not to follow that route of trying to push anything through the county commission. Instead, we decided to do a records workshop that we will do in February at the archives. Mandatory that all elected officials or a representative of elected officials in the departments attend. And we're hoping that through the records workshop, we can further educate all the departments and elected officials on proper retention of records and streamline the records management even further than we have already with the archives building, and to talk about Heather Dahlborn's new electronic records program and initiative, and just to move forward. So we're hoping that the workshop will educate and lead us in the right direction as a county and managing our records. So no further action requested at this time through you all.
Okay.
Any questions?
Well, we just spent a ton of money over on Heather Dahlborn's office to start the electronic, I guess, paperless trail and record keeping. So I hope we're going to be on the same page on this whole event, because like I said, I think the age is there. A lot of companies are doing it, and government needs to be doing it too for space reasons and everything. But I'm looking forward to the workshop.
Yeah, we're definitely 100%, the Records Commission 100% in support of Heather Dahlborn and her initiative. We have spent a lot of money in terms of county money to do that. But I think we're heading in the right direction in terms of managing electronic records. And the workshop is going to answer a lot of questions for the other departments that haven't seen what's going into Heather's office and what she's going to be able to do for other departments. So it's going to answer a lot of questions, but we are definitely heading in the right direction, I believe.
It may be best to do it through education. And there may be a lot of department heads that may not realize they can get rid of these records at this time, or could have already gotten rid of them, and just educate them, and will probably take care of a lot of those problems.
Exactly. I think there's a little bit of fear of the unknown right this second, and we have not sat down department-wide to talk about it. You know, some committees have talked about it, and we've heard things here and there and things in the newspaper, but this is going to be the time to educate countywide. So it should be a good workshop, good initiative.
Good.
Thank you.
Excellent report. Appreciate the update.
Thank you.
And your work. All right. Next, we have a time limit for comments at public hearings on the agenda. This is, we talked about it a little bit last month. County attorney's here this month. And if you remember, commissioners, this was a resolution that was brought forth to the committee, or the committee already talked about, brought forth to the commission. The commission sent it back to us. So here we are for the second week. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, if we take no action on this or whatever, it just basically dies, because we have to take action on this to bring it back within 2 consecutive committee meetings. So here we are. Thoughts?
My thoughts are that, you know, I don't, we were elected to listen to the people, to come up, and if it takes someone 10, 15 minutes to say their say, I think we need to listen to them. But on the other hand too, you know, someone's gonna get up there like we've had here recently, someone get up there for 45 minutes on an issue. I mean, you know, where do you draw the line? And I also like the deal where someone can come up there for 3 minutes and speak to us, you know, to let us know their feelings on some issues, and to give us some help on how that, you know, how they may feel about an issue that's going on in the community that we may not know about. You know, so I can see both sides of it.
Invite the county attorney or the mayor, whoever, up to the table if they wish to come. Because I didn't want to misquote anything or misinterpret anything that I heard at the commission meeting. What made a lot of sense is that whatever we do, we have to do something with some sort of consistency and fairness across the board. And it's like you said, we were elected to listen to the people. And I guess where my thoughts are right now, you know, listen to everybody, is if we can't do something that we know is just right in every circumstance, then we're better off to just side with the people. And just side with, you know, listening to the voice of our constituents and our citizens, if there's not a perfect, clear-cut answer for us to take.
Well, I think the mayor had said it last time, either as the chairman of the committee, or whether you're talking about the chairman of planning or the chairman of board adjustments and appeals, they can set the tone at the beginning of that meeting, of that public hearing. I mean, each time they can do it now. So they can say, we're going to limit you to 3 minutes or 5 minutes on your comments to let everyone speak. If there is a lot of folks there to speak on a certain issue, you know, or a planning meeting or a public hearing or adjustments and appeals or something like that. So they have that authority now. And to tell you the truth, we've had some pretty big issues to come up, and I think the chairmen have handled it really well. So I'm willing for now to leave it alone. I mean, I don't want to not see something that somebody else is trying to point out to us and make sure we're doing things across the board in a fairly way. But I think the chairmans are doing that, and I think they have that latitude as chairmans of the different committees. And as far as we tried the 3-minute public comments for a trial basis, really, and we've kept it for I don't know how many years now, but and it's working fine. So I don't see that we need to fix that neither. So I think it's working well. And then the chairmen have also been given the opportunities, I guess, except for public comment time. If you had something to say and you said it during the public hearing, and then you go back and let everyone else speak, then you do have another opportunity to come up and speak again if there's something else that you wanted to comment on. So I think it's being handled in a really good fashion and fairness across the board on all the committees right now.
What is the policy right now as far as public hearings? Is there an unlimited amount of time? Is there any kind of time limit? Does the chairman already have a?
There's nothing in our Commissioner's Handbook that addresses time limit on public hearings. Nothing is in there.
So if in a public hearing, can the chairman say, all right, there's a lot of people here, we're going to time it for 3 minutes, and you come back, and can they do that right now?
According to this book that he has in his hand, one could do that. Robert's Rules of Order would be the only place of authority that we have just to do just that, and it is done from time to time. I haven't used that privilege, but it is there.
Well, like in planning, and I'm on planning commission, I mean, if it's just a public hearing on maybe a subdivision or something, then the chairman hasn't, in most cases, haven't set that time frame because there's few people there to speak on it maybe. And so they get up and it may take them 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, or it may be just the developer and the engineer or, you know, somebody like that that's speaking. So those type things have really worked out fine. The public hearings on budgets, they've worked out fine, and we haven't really set a time limit on them at the public hearing part on the budget time. So that's worked out fine. So you know, and with the chairmans having that latitude with a big crowd on a big issue maybe to speak, then they can set that limit then to whatever they see fit, 3 to 5 minutes, whatever they want to do.
I remember when we had the Bible Park
Public hearing.
Mm-hmm. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there on the podium there was the red, green, and the lights. I think it was set up there, and I think it was.
I was thinking it was 3 minutes or so on it.
On 3 minutes time period or something.
I don't have a limit on it.
Was it not?
Wasn't.
We have that on public comments in that little period that we have at 3 minutes.
I was thinking we didn't do
That's
it
the
on
only
Bible.
time we've used the timer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was on the public comments when they were talking about Bible.
Okay. Oh, I stand corrected there, and I've slept since then.
We need to remember too, that on that particular night, the mayor did say, I don't know how many times, but he said, if you have anything new that has not been pointed out in the previous whatever hours it was, and now would be a good time otherwise, well, that didn't seem to stop anybody.
Yeah.
On the other hand, we're really discussing this tonight rather than last time because we thought that there might be a lot of public comment on the rezoning last time. One speaker.
Mm-hmm.
So you just don't know. We have a turning lane next month, and there'll be 23 people there.
Right.
So we really just don't know, which goes back to what you said, I think, really, Commissioner, Chairman. If we can't do this exactly right, something that we think absolutely will work, probably need to leave it alone. And I think that's kind of where I stand.
Well, one thing for sure you don't want to do, it's called public hearing. So you want to allow the public to speak on the issues at hand at the public hearing. So, and we've been doing that for as long as I know. So I think we're good.
Very well.
I make a motion that we just let it die.
Is that a double negative?
We have a motion to let it die.
I never heard of such a motion.
Okay.
I'll second it if you say let it expire.
Let it expire.
Nothing to expire or die. You're just not taking any action at this point.
Okay. Well, I'll just remove my motion then. Just let it.
Well, I think it might be wise to go ahead and let the full commission know that this body's chosen at this point in this wisdom not to put any additional restrictions requiring time limits on public hearings.
Okay.
So there is a motion then? Still?
To let it expire.
To expire. All right, motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Any other business?
No, just one follow-up. I mean, this may never happen, but under the right circumstances, the chairman, I may, as chairman, if and when I still am chairman, I may exercise that privilege that I think is reasonable.
Right.
And we would support that.
Right.
I think.
Thank you.
Commissioner Jordan?
A comment about our next meeting.
Yes, I appreciate that. I got it written down there.
Okay, and I know you're gonna give us a date here in just a second. I don't know what it is. It's been changed, I know that, but I do have this question. And I don't know if the mayor can answer this, or you can, or whatever. Are the legislators gonna be with us on that night for more than 24 minutes? It's been an hour and a half with the school board now, or actually more than that. Last year, we got 24 minutes after we finished our preliminary. I just wanna make sure they're gonna be here that night, it's longer than that.
Well, we believe that will be the case because they don't even have an organizational meeting until the following week. The last time we had a meeting with them, they were right in the very first or second day of their first.
They had a caucus meeting that night,
So
I think's what it
we
was.
picked it early enough that they shouldn't have anything scheduled in Nashville that would conflict with this. At least that's the indication.
Vicky, I asked Vicky to contact all of the delegation and get the best date for them for this meeting. And then I think she contacted all of you all to confirm that, you all would be able to move the meeting to that date. And then she sent out another email to everybody to confirm that that would be the date. And that date is January the 3rd, which is a Thursday at 5:30. So I appreciate Vicky taking on that task to contact everybody. It's not an easy thing to do, schedule a night and find a night here that's open. So it is right after the first of the year, so it'd be a great way to bring in the new year. So hopefully they will be here longer than 24 minutes. I do hope so.
You gonna be sober about it?
All right.
Are you rescheduling the January?
No, this will be our regular January meeting
Okay,
instead of January 7th.
Okay.
That would be the
January
first
the
Monday,
3rd.
January the 3rd at 5:30, and you should have an email to that effect. Any other business? All right, move to adjourn.